to be a prop for me for a moment. So if you're kids under fifth grade and younger, come sit up front. We can judge that by maturity level too. So if you feel as though your maturity never went past fifth grade, you're welcome to watch the cords there. Just sit right there. Stop right there. Perfect. Well done. So I had one of the greatest honors I've ever had earlier today, which is I got to go to a classroom of students that looked just like this, nicely spaced out in their classroom, because I got to visit my son Ezra. Ezra, stand up, wave to everybody. A lot of people haven't seen how much you've grown in 2.5 years. So I got to go to Ezra's class, and he wore that coat all day long. I can attest to you. You can sit down now. You can take it off now. Thank you. I got to go to his class because his teacher invited me to talk about Hanukkah. So I know there are many other parents here who have been invited to their children's classrooms to talk about Hanukkah, and I can tell you that the report was, thank you, Rabbi, very much. It was really wonderful for you to talk about Hanukkah, but the last person brought latkes. So for those of you who go to the classrooms, please bring a snack. But I told the students 3 stories of Hanukkah, and they had a major decision to make, which is the best story of Hanukkah. And so here are the 3 stories. The first story is the story of the Maccabees, the story of a people who were tired of King Antiochus, who had been pushing them around, taken over their temple, and was worshiping idols, put the statue of Zeus in the midst of the temple, and the Maccabees get tired of it and they fight back. And so the first story is a story of physical strength and rebellion. It's a great story. We love it when the underdog wins. The second story, which is really part of the first, is that after the battle, in the destroyed temple from the battle, they find that little bit of oil. And the oil lasts how long? Very good, right? And so the second story is a story of perseverance, of being able to be patient and watch and hope that the oil will last and to believe that miracles can happen. The second story is a story of strength of mind, to be able to wait. The third story, which we don't often tell, we have told it here before, but we don't often tell it, is the story of a group of Israelites who were held captive and missed the holiday of Sukkot. And they loved the holiday of Sukkot, because why wouldn't you love the holiday of Sukkot? You get to sit in your sukkah and eat all of the foods from the harvest and celebrate with all of the people you love, but because they had been held captive, they didn't get to celebrate Sukkot, but they were freed during the darkest days of the year. And the very first thing they wanted to do was celebrate 8 days of this beautiful festival, but it was dark out, so they lit lights and they made a festival of lights. 3 stories of Hanukkah. And the kids voted almost unanimously. There was one holdout. It was not my son. But 95% of the kids voted for the third story. And I want to tell you why I think they're right. Because this year, perhaps more than others, as we celebrate Hanukkah, we're celebrating not the strength of muscles and not the strength of our mind, while those are all important. We've had patience. Perhaps we've run out of our patience. And we've found that the strength of our muscles cannot solve every problem. But those people who celebrated the Festival of Lights when they weren't allowed to showed a strength of spirit. And some of you were part of our PJ Library Hanukkah lighting that I know Erin Katz. Erin can raise your hand. We can highlight Erin. Thank her for pulling together our PJ Library kids. And Jen Chestnut shared one of the great facts about Hanukkah, which is there was a great debate as to whether we should light all of the Hanukkah candles on the first night and decrease it every night by one until eventually there's no light left. Or we should light one candle every night and increase the light every day of Hanukkah. And of course, the person, Hillel, who said we should increase light one, because that's how we do it, right? On the first night, we light just a few candles, and then by the end of Hanukkah, the whole Hanukkah is lit. But the reason is because we believe that in order for something to be sacred, in order for something to be holy, we have to work at it. We have to add a little bit every day. It doesn't just happen all of a sudden. It takes a strength of spirit. It takes our ability. It takes 8 days. Thank you. And so we have to look at our spirit in the same way that we look at our muscles and in the same way that we look at our mind. We exercise to build our muscles not just once, hopefully, but many, many times. We go to school not just once, but day after day after day to make our minds strong. And so too, Hanukkah is trying to tell us this year, I believe, that our spirit needs to have that daily practice in order for it to be full. And so we'll share in this song. We invite our kids to stand. You guys can help lead us in maybe a little ruach, a little spirit.